Well, good evening. Happy New Year. Happy Thursday. And happy let's get started and grow and expand and start some new businesses, continue our journey into entrepreneurship. My name is Steve Carver, and I'm certainly honored to be working with you tonight. This is my presentation number 1154, and it's January 2024. So thanks for joining me and letting me join you in your journey. Our topics this early spring is all about how we can help you get your new business started or expanded or growing and with more profits and less stress. And I think that's a great 2025 New Year's resolution. And I want to let you know that this series sponsored by the Small Business Center, Bart Rice over in Clinton at SAMPSON Community College. It's not about us, and it's not about the Small Business Center or the college here. This program is all about you, and it's my job to try to help you any way that I possibly can. Whether it's encouragement that you need, or hard basic facts, or ideas, or strategies, we're here to serve. And indeed, the more communications you feed into us by asking questions and seeing how we might be able to improve our program is much appreciated, because we're all kind of in this together. And I call it, this is an academy series, and that we're all in the academy working together. But many thanks go out to the Small Business Center at SAMPSON Community College, Mr. Bart Rice there, who was with us earlier and who will check back in later. Their job is to help you folks out in the community. You don't have to be going to the college there to receive the help. As a matter of fact, that hasn't really got anything to do with it. Bart's office is at the community college, but his work is to help entrepreneurs any way that he can. So just know that. You can give him a call, set up an appointment, ask for some advice for counseling. It'll be free. It'll be confidential. And it'd be very valuable, and it's just like adding employees to your business without any extra expense. So let me encourage you to do that. And you can give Bart's office a call at 910-900-4025, and he'll be glad to chat with you or meet with you or set up another counselor to help you get started in your business. Thank you all for keep joining in. We're glad to have you all on board. If you go over to the campus, SAMPSON Community College has a beautiful campus, and Bart's office is kind of right in the center of it. One of the main buildings, it's called the East Building. It's in the center of the campus, not on the east side, but it's in the center of the campus. So make sure you get in and give him a visit. Got plenty of room to sit and talk to you and help you any way that he can. I want you to know right up front, all through this series, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not a CPA or a certified tax advisor or anything like that. I'm just a fellow that's owned many businesses through the years and continue to run my own business and operate it with customers nationwide and locally for 65 years continuous in business, and still do it today. Matter of fact, today I've had a really good day with customers. So I'm not somebody that read a book and then telling you all about it. I'm a fellow that does it every day, works with customers, the good and the bad, the payroll, the paying the bills, trying to keep making profits, keep up with all the price changes we have to do. So I do it, and I'm certainly glad to share with you what I've learned, the good things and the bad things through these series. And the first thing I'll recommend to you is always get some good advice. And that's one reason I'm just honored to be a part of the Small Business Center system, one of their contributors, and highly recommend that to folks, not to try to make a decision on your own. A little bit about my story. Started in 1959 when my dad, Alvis Carver, left Hope Mills and came up to Dunn, North Carolina on a dirt road. That dirt road was Interstate 95, because in 1959, that's the year it was paved. So 66 years later, he started the business in 59, and we've still got it going on now. It changes constantly, which that's what we do in business. We keep doing it. Now our business is carverequipment.com, the main business, and it's an internet site that sells implements that go behind tractors, and we sell and ship them all over the world, a direct sale, direct shipping type business. But for many years, 15, 16 years, I ran a large commercial lawn master business, mowing and trimming over 3,000 apartments a week. So I know how to do that. I had a government contracting business at the same time, did lots of different types of contracting at Air Force bases and Army bases and reserve centers and places such as that. So a lot of experience in doing that. So as we start our new year, let me say hello to you and send greetings from my family and wife Norma, who's down here in the right-hand corner with me. We've got a large family with lots and lots of kids and grandkids and 14 children, 12 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. So, and we're growing every day. I had 2 of my grandchildren get married this summer, so maybe we'll have some more greats on the way. But when I show you all these fine people, and I'm sure that some of y'all have some large families as well, you know what that's all about? It's about drama. We know what drama is, Norma and I do, and I'm sure that you will. And if you're going to have a small business and serve people, then you're going to learn all about drama as well. Well, here's a special invitation to you from this old codger in Dunn, North Carolina. I'm going to invite you to go steady with me for the next 7 weeks, and we'll get together, have a regular date night on Thursday nights, and try to talk about doing business. And so I'll be here for you if you plan to join me at all. I'd like for you to find me on Facebook and listen to Steve Carver or Anthony Stephen, either way you want to chase it in. You'll know it's me when you see the blue skies background. There's a lot of Steve Carvers on Facebook, like there's a lot of your name too, probably. But let's connect up so I can see what you're doing and help you grow your business through Facebook, and you can watch the way that I do mine. Can easily stay in touch with you there. Your success is our goal. That is the primary and only goal, is to help you succeed in getting your business started. So we got 7 weeks tonight. We talk about basically getting the mindset going on, 24 things to think about when you start your business. Next week, it's all about business planning and budgeting, and then we go into marketing and on and on. We'll cover about 100 different topics and subjects through this series. And if you just get 1 or 2 good ideas each night that you can put to work in your business that makes you money, over a long period of years, that could add to a lot of money that you would achieve. I'm not going to try to give you anything that's going to hurt your business. Everything will be something that you can use and to promote it. I see we've got several folks, repeat associates with us tonight, Pam and Kenyatta. It's so good to see you. Glad to see you from down in Clinton, and hope you're doing well. And yes, and Pam's back with us, and Barbara. So keep coming back. Each time you can come back and finish or another class or another course, that will improve your tools that you have in your tool belt. And if you are completing the courses, it'll move you up in the Academy of Associates and Entrepreneurs to higher and more levels, to the master's levels, and we'll go on forward from there. So it's a continuing thing. I want you to join my family of associates, and we'll keep this thing going on for years and helping each other. If you complete the courses, you can win certificates. If you attend 5 out of the 7 classes and do nothing else but attend 5 out of the 7 classes, you'll qualify for a completion certificate. You don't have to do the homework or the challenges, but it certainly will help you in your business. And those that do will qualify for Academy graduation and membership. And I'll give you some challenges to do along the way. And you know, I have some folks that will join these during the first week will complete all of their homework assignments. And I'm so gratified to do that, because it really gets you in tune, helps get your DNA all tuned up to get your business started. We also offer certificates for those that go the extra mile, that show just a lot of encouragement for other folks and themselves. And, you know, if you want to accept the challenges, we're going to try to reward you all we can. But of course, your main reward is seeing your business go. Each week, we'll send you study guides related to the topics. One of your study guides will always start out with a number. Like this week, it's number 1154, which is my presentation number, plus lots and lots of other information that will help you as you go along. I encourage you to look over those study guides, put them in a special file in your computer so you can refer back to them when you need to do it, or you got things to consider. There's a couple of bonuses in these study guides this time, and that there's one of them that has 50 types of businesses that you can start up for $100 or less. A lot of people maybe don't want to do that particular business, but we'll see one of the others, different types that will help you add profit centers to the business you've already got started. Plus, there's a study guide that lists out the 7 different topics we're talking about in this series. It gives you a summary of them so you can plan ahead. And something new this spring, instead of doing words to remember, vocabulary words, we're going to talk about quotes to remember, quotes that apply to what we're talking about on the individual nights that famous people have said that makes a lot of sense to help us kind of stay in touch and remember how to have a self-improvement class, so to speak. I would like to take this opportunity to honor the folks who were finished out these last semester in 2024 and give them a special thank you and go from there. Remember that the Academy is all about mutual helpfulness and bringing people together, kind of letting us know that we're not in this by ourselves. So we're pledged to do good work for God and for goodwill to everyone, and mainly to concentrate our work by devotion to mutual helpfulness. I'm proud to be a part of this. I do subscribe to the mission, the vision, and the promise, and I would encourage all the folks that become members and associates of the Academy to do the same thing. Special congratulations go out to David Engel over in the mountains at Marshallville and Weaverville, Sarita and Sampson and Clinton, Cynthia's with us, Cindy in Lexington, Charlene in Raleigh, and Roland over in Battleboro. All these folks finished the course in the last semester, so we're certainly proud of them and appreciate them doing it. Our first in class for the last semester would be David. David is a really special individual in the tax pro type work where he helps people with their tax returns. But in the last semester is when the hurricane came through in the mountains, and he lives right in Weaverville, Marshall area, that got wiped out. The main street of Marshall washed down the river, and that's where his office was. But he still managed to attend 6 out of the 7 classes and participate with each one and stay in touch with folks. And while we were all trying to offer him encouragement, he was the one actually doing the work and saying thank you, but mainly he was encouraging everyone as well. So thank you, David, for your attendance and your work and for what you're doing for helping people who need help in your community. That is what the Academy membership is all about, and we appreciate it. Quotes to remember, and we'll do a new one each week, and I'm going to ask you to remember this, maybe even go to the chat each night and type in a little bit of it to help you remember it. And at the end of the 7 weeks, hopefully we'll be able to recall all 7 of these different quotes and be able to use them when we're talking with customers or with employees or such as that to help us. Walt Disney, of course, very special and famous individual in American history and especially in business life worldwide. Walt Disney reminded us the way to get started is to quit talking about it and start doing something about it. The way to get started is to quit talking and start doing. And by golly, here y'all are. I'm talking about it tonight, but I'm looking forward to all of us beginning and doing something. So over in the chat board, if you don't mind, let's get used to using the chat for each lesson one way or the other. Let's just start by typing in two words over there, start doing. Start doing. How about typing that in the chat board and kind of making a promise to yourself that we're going to start doing something about growing our business and making it better and helping the community. Start doing. There you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all doing. Who is that? That's 85281. What's your name there? Put that on your chat if you don't mind so I know who I'm talking to. Thank you, Nancy. Coming up, bring it on in. Start doing. Let's all of us start doing some stuff. All right, some types of wisdom. You know, this is a beautiful time of year in North Carolina, and so I picked out one of the lighthouses to use as our screen. So let's talk about something we might want to talk about. Let me tell you that we need to plan for the unexpected. Every day there's something new that's going to come along that we didn't expect. So let me just tell you that right now. It's part of being in business, part of being alive in the world, part of having a family. It's that drama we're talking about. Let's just know right away and learn to expect it and look forward to it, because that's what makes entrepreneurship so challenging and so interesting, is plan for the unexpected. And if we have a sense that we're not in this alone, and let me tell you, I sit here all day long in front of this screen. Usually 99% of the time I'm alone, but because of my association with you guys, and I want y'all to feel the same thing, you're not in this alone as long as you're participating in the academy and working with your small business center. And you can build a team that you can trust, people that you can ask questions to or go to and bounce your ideas off of. That is really important for sustainability, not only of your business and your profits, but also your psychic, your mental health. Put a team around you of people that you can trust and that you enjoy listening to them, feel like they got some sense and something good to offer. I really and sincerely feel that way about you folks. I've learned after 16 years now that y'all have a lot of great ideas, and you're steady, and I just love working with each and every one of you, and appreciate you so much. But things are going to go wrong from time to time. We can count on that. It's not rose-colored glasses all the time. Things will go wrong. Might get a bad check, might get a bad customer, you might lose a deal, you might lose a supplier, or just had a business plan that just didn't work and you couldn't change it in time. Things will go wrong, and the beauty of these classes and our friendships and association is that hopefully we'll learn about what might go wrong and have some type of risk management in place to keep it from sinking our ships. But I know they're coming. I want to tell you that things will go wrong. That in my business, even though it's 66 years old this year, indeed, I have new experiences and new challenges almost every day, and certainly every week. So just know that. My job, and I take it very seriously, is to do my very best to motivate you. And to do that, I have to seem to be assertive. People who know me well, that's been in business with me a long time, say that I'm definitely assertive, and I have to kind of tone it down sometime. And so I'll just give you an apology right up front. If it seems like I'm stepping on your toes, it's not because I'm trying to hurt you or hurt your toes anyway. It's just that I'm trying to get you to move those feet, and let's stop talking about it and let's start doing something. So will you accept the challenge? Let's go to the chat board. If you accept the challenge to set this as a new 2025 or a New Year's resolution to do better in moving your business forward, just give me a yes over in the chat board. And that'll just make me feel good, and hopefully it'll make you guys feel too. Yes, I will accept the challenge from y'all, and that you'll accept it from me and from Bart. The challenge is to stay in the game, finding the endurance, and that's a great word, endurance. I started using it about 3 years ago, and it's just meant a lot to me. It's strange how one word can make a difference if you kind of plug into it and start relying on it, because in entrepreneurship, it's not how much money you're making, because you don't have to make a little bit of money. You can't stay in business. The key is staying in the game long enough to get good at it, long enough to start seeing those risks, start doing things. And one of the things that help us through the years, and I've used this now for about 12 years, and changing a little bit each year, but we have 40 drill skills. You'll get a handout each week that reminds you about what they are, and a video link so you can actually watch one of my videos that will talk about the individual skills to help us really build some good DNA tools in our tool belt. Number one, each week we'll go over 5 or 6, 7 of them. Number one is, do we need a business plan? We do need a business plan. A business plan is going to tell us what's left after we work our butts off. We want to know what's left. Why are we doing this? What's the reward? What's left after we subtract our expenses from our income? And if we work hard to try to keep our business plan updated and off to a good start, it will really help us determine what's left. And number two, a marketing plan is just as important, because a marketing plan is how we keep customers coming in. And we'll call our marketing plan the Golden Goose Marketing Plan because we're going to learn how to take these golden eggs and turn them into learning what's next. And what's next are keywords for marketing, because I will assure you that with a good marketing plan, if you put it into place, you'll feel good about the business that's coming to you tomorrow, next week, and next year. You'll find that sense of security so you don't have to worry about your business falling through the crack all the time. And folks new in business, including myself, when I was new in business, I'd wake up in the middle of the night sometimes just really worried about whether my business would make it another day or two or another year or two. Those things weren't going right. But with experience and with confidence, let me assure you, a good marketing plan will help you find that confidence and help your business keep going for a long, long time. We need to know and keep in mind, as I do every day, there's 3 types of ways to make money. We don't call these ways marketable profit centers. Things that we're doing to make money are profit centers, and when we name them and put them out there and market in ways to market them separately, they're marketable profit centers. There's 3 different types that we want to be able to identify and name and put to work in your new business. The first type is something that brings in new customers, creates new traffic flow. We have to do that because we're going to lose 1/3 of our customers every year on average, and in some places even more than that. Number 2, we want profit centers that create repeat business, that help us make a little bit of money, good profit margins there. So repeat business is what we're after, continued business, and we have to have designed things to help us do that. And lastly, we want to be able to occasionally have a big ticket item, items that cost enough money that even with a small percentage of profit, it adds up to some real cash so that we can start setting some money aside for profitability and also to be ready for unexpected expenses that will be coming. So if you don't plan to have a big ticket item, I will assure you that you will never have it. So it's all about planning, and we want to help you learn to do that. So there's 3 different types of profit centers, and I want you to have at least 5 profit centers in your business, and we'll jump into that all through the series. Again, you want at least 5 different types, because if you're just doing one thing will always at some point in time go south. But if you've got 5 different things going on in your business that's bringing in cash flow and sales and repeat business and customers, then you got a chance to have a sustainable business for years and years and years. So that's number 3, at least 5 marketable profit centers. Now, we're going to use the term RFC all through this series, because an RFC, that raving fan customer, if you don't mind typing those 3 words in, raving fan customer, the raving fan customer is the secret to having repeat business. The raving fan customer is that person that does business with you and then goes out and tells other people how good it is to do business with you and encouraging other people to do it too. Thank you all. Yeah, let me see those RFCs and raving fan customers over there. Work those fingers out. I call them happy fingers. Let's do that. So we're going to constantly remember that they are high on our list. Now, the NDCP, if you want to type that in, NDCP, like rock, paper, scissors, you know how that game that we used to play? The NDCP stands for no demand, change the plan. No demand, change the plan. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to work hard on a business plan next week. We're going to work hard, and I know you're going to work hard on getting your budget set up. And I'm just going to tell you right now, we're guessing. And until we get into it and start putting those numbers to work, it was all guesswork. And we're going to have to change it. And having the willingness to change your plan to make it work is the key to sustainability. So no demand, and that's usually what's wrong with a profit center, is you don't have enough demand that it's bringing you in any income, then we don't need to change that plan and be willing to do it. I don't care how smart I am or you are, it makes no difference. We can make mistakes and think that we've got a good business plan or a part of it, and it may not be good. It may be an ugly baby, and we just need to change it. So let's remember, no demand, change the plan. Don't throw the plan away. 4 more letters, A, B, C, D. always be connecting the dots. Always be connecting the dots. Just type in the word connect dots, because the dots that I'm referring to in this little presentation are the different ideas that we're going to come forward with. Every day you'll think about something new that you might want to try in your business, or a purchase that you might have to do. So connecting the dots is a way of thinking. A way of thinking is, I want to encourage you that as we're thinking and planning and considering what you might be doing next, we want to connect the dots in a circle, because the circle represents a wheel that keeps on rolling, and we want our wheel to keep on rolling. And if we make a decision that doesn't fit our business plan, our long-term needs, it becomes a bump in the road. And bumps in the road can put you out of business, and it will definitely always slow you down. So we're always going to be connected to the dots in such a way to help our business move forward. And it's very easy to come up with something new that seems like a good idea at the time, but indeed it may not be such a good idea. So let's connect these dots in such a way that it keeps our business rolling. The three words that have helped more of my students through the years, in the 16 years we've been doing this, the three words that have made major difference in how much money you end up with in your pocketbook, those three words are by the way. By the way are the passwords to what? By the way are the passwords to upsells and cross sales and stacking profits. So when I asked you to type in the three words, by the way, I want you to remember and type those in if you don't mind. By the way, they are the way we're going to have upsells and cross sales and stack profits. And all that is about making more money with doing very little extra work. And I'm going to show you how to do that. By the way is very important. It's so important that if you're going to get a tattoo this week on your forehead, get by the way there, because customers ask you, what's that all about? And then you'll be able to tell them and make more money. Now, I used to love to go fishing. I had a house down at Emerald Isle for 30 years, and for 25 years, I went fishing every time it wasn't a gale blowing on a Friday or Saturday. And I learned, after 5 years of not catching any fish, some very important rules from people who were successful. And they taught me very important rules. And after they did, I caught fish every time I went out. But the first three rules are the most important. And fishing is a lot like selling. So I want to tell you the most important three rules that you can think of are, number one. What is number one? Number one is keep fresh bait in the water. Keep fresh bait in the water. And rule number two, keep fresh bait in the water. Now guess what rule number three is? Keep fresh bait in the water. Because if you're keeping fresh bait in the water and you're out there in the ocean fishing, and you're going slow enough that the fish can see your bait, you're going to catch something. It may not be exactly what you're fishing for, but there's enough going on out there that if you keep fresh bait in the water, you're going to catch something. And that is so very true. So let me tell you, in business, we need to keep fresh bait in the water. And that bait is continuous promotions. We need to be sending out promotions to our market, to our customers, to our raving fan customers, that we've got something to sell and we're hungry and we really will appreciate them getting in touch with us. Keeping fresh promotions in the market is the same as keeping fresh bait in the water. We're going to remember that, because that's going to require that we do some work, that we structure our life to keep fresh promotions going out to our customers. So getting this business started, this new resolution, same as 2024 as it is this year, we're going to be dealing with a lot of different things to get it started, and we're going to talk about all of them as we move along. So a lot to make notes on. So let me encourage you, as we go through the series, when you get your email with the study guides, and you have the ability, or you have a printer, to print out that first one with the number on it, so you can use it to take notes on as we go through the classes each night. I'm planning on y'all being here for every night during the next 7 weeks, is to be right here with me, and by God, I will teach you a lot of stuff. You'll get your business moving to its next level, and indeed, become a member of the Academy, and move forward as we go forward. Let's get started with by being shrewd, and shrewdness is being really smart. Having a practical, clever judgment. Smooth is really important, and I want us all to be shrewd. So I've written several books. One of them is 24 Things You Must Know About Starting a Business. It's on sale at Amazon, but you don't need to buy it. It's very expensive. You can buy it and give it to someone if you'd like to, because basically your handout tonight is from the manuscript of the book. So just wanted to mention that to you. So chapter 1 in that book is Getting Started. And it's the basic questions that you need to ask yourself. Now, if you go see Bart for a counseling session, he's going to ask you about 30 different questions. Every professional get started counselor will do that. I do it as well. But the reason that we do that is so that you can, in your own heart, in your own mind, start creating a mindset to understand what you're into and maybe what you need to be doing to get started. So I'm going to narrow it down to about 12 questions here that we're going to think about doing it. So the first question always needs to be, will you be personally active in this business? Are you going to be the one that's actually doing it? Or do you plan to, I want to own a business and hire everybody else to do the work for me? Whichever way it is, you just need to determine it up front, because it'll have everything to do with how we do our work from here, including how you do your budget and your business plan. And if you're going to be active in the business, is it going to be part-time or full-time? So if you don't mind in chat, how about just give me an idea over there? Just write in part-time or full-time, and I'll get a sense for how this group is going along. It's amazing how it changes from group to group, part-time or full-time. Type that in the chat if you don't mind. And we don't think about, is your business going to be a home-based business where basically you won't have an office anywhere else? Or will it be a mobile business where maybe you'll have an office at home, but you're going to get in a truck or a car or a van or a bus and go out and help other people? That would be a mobile type business. And maybe an internet type business could be another option, or all three. But you need to know that right now and determine that, so that as we start talking about doing your business plan and your budgeting next week, then each one of those different entities in doing your business would have different impacts on the budget, and would need to be required that you do that. Now, what date would you actually say, I'm ready to serve customers and start actually making money? What's that target date? Is it now? Is it 6 months from now? Is maybe a year from now? To get a substantial business started is going to take right much doing, things to do, and more to talk about and things more to do. So how about just give me an idea on that? What date are you thinking about would be good for you to plan to start? And you might say as soon as possible, like now, or 6 months, maybe 1 year. Give yourself an idea. Once you write that down, yes, here Pamela said in May, because if you've got a date that we're looking forward to, you know what we can do? Then we can start planning on what needs to be done now and next month and next week to get ready for that date that you want to get started. NASA's ready to go right now. I like that. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. Now, this is part of your homework challenges and help you earn certificates, and it's absolutely necessary that you do this in order to put together a meaningful business plan, a meaningful marketing plan, and a meaningful budget. I want you to have a menu of what you're going to be offering for sale. Is it services, different types of services? Is it products, different types of products? Or maybe it's a combination. Either way, if you don't have a menu written down with what the specific things you're doing are, and a suggested price maybe out to the side, there's no way you can put together a business plan. And it will be hard to put together a marketing plan if you don't already have that menu written down. Now, you might just say, well, Steve, I've got a menu. I'm going to buy things for a little bit of money and sell them for a lot of money. Well, that's a really good business plan, but it's really not something you can take to the bank and work with. Now, I want to know exactly what you're going to be selling specifically, and maybe what target groups of customers you're going to be targeted for. Because this is the basics of putting together your fundamental business plan. What are you selling? How much you going to charge for it? Because then we can talk about how much money may be coming in if you sell a certain amount of volume of each of those things. Now, do you have the money you need to get started now? Are you going to need additional money? And does your credit score, the way it is right now, your financial statement and your credit score, will it encourage a lender to help you more? Or do you think it might need some improvement? So, and if it's going to need some improvement, there's no time to get started on improving it other than right now. And there's a lot of things you can do. A lot of little things you can do to help start improving your credit score. So if you'd like for me to include a study guide on improving that credit score or standing, type that over in chat and include study guide for credit improvement, and I'll be glad to do that. I'll either email it to you, or if several of you ask for it, I'll send it to everyone. But what is your situation? And be honest with yourself, because sometimes you can start working on your business plan, your marketing plan, your general thinking, and go ahead now and start working on improving that credit score so it can all come together with a positive end. And certainly that's what we want it to do. 15 years ago, I talked a lot about having a mission and a vision statement for all entrepreneurs, and I thought it was a good thing to do. But you know, I never did it for myself. I said, well, my business is already old and established. I don't need to be doing that. But 4 years ago, I actually took my own advice and did my own mission, vision, and promise statements, and it made a major impact on the way I looked at my business, myself, and the way I try to serve my customers. And I want to encourage you to do this too. So one of your study guides is a how-to, gives you all kinds of examples, words to use, and this and that. I want you to have your own mission, vision, and promise statement. And this is not a tough task to do, but what it does, it encourages you to write down what you're trying to achieve for yourself and for your community and for your customers. Several short sentences that I'll share with you in that handout, and you can do that. And this is one of the requirements of homework challenges to get your membership into the academy. Is I want you to have this mission, vision, and promise statement for yourself. Once it's written down and prepared, and you fine tune it any way you want to, that's going to give you a great tool to put in your web page, in your email, on your business card. And every time you look at it, like every time I look at mine, because I include it on emails that I send out to my customers, quotations I send out, put it right on there, and it reminds me of my core values, what I'm trying to achieve for my customers. And it's a sign of courage when you're willing to share that to your customers. When you're willing to say, I promise you that I'm going to do my best to do this, 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 and this. So please take me up on this. Please create your own mission, vision, and promise statement. And I want you to send me a copy of it, and hopefully you'll allow me to share it with our other classmates here in class so we all can appreciate the fact what you're doing. I think Pamela has already done that and sent me one of them. And Pam, you might want to fine tune that and send it back to me, and we'll send it again out. But it will help you achieve a lot in your business and feel better about your business as you move forward. Core values, what does that mean? It means what do you believe in? You believe in honesty, integrity, leadership, helping other people, mutual helpfulness, following your faith. A lot of folks have core values, and if you can have them and keep them internally, you can keep it, say, well, that's my business and nobody else's business. Well, my friend, let me tell you, you're in business to serve the world and the public. And if you're proud of your core values, putting in writing and let people know that you are, because it's a sign of courage, and the customers that you really want to think the same way that you do, They will recognize that fact, and indeed it will improve your chances to do business with them because they feel the same way about things that you do. So take that into consideration. So what are your mission, vision, promise statements going to do? It tells the folks in what your company's planning on doing for the community, for the customers, for your employees, and basically what your values and goals are in business. So please go ahead and do that. And here's the statements that I've written out, and that we all now, as you join the academy, then you'll say basically, I believe in this too. Believing in the possibilities, believing in the future, and thinking that sustainable, good small businesses help the local economies and people grow. And our visions are to offer a safe landing place for customers where they don't have to worry about being hoodooed or lied to, and that you're an entrepreneur trying to help achieve your dreams and help other entrepreneurs do the same thing. But mainly your vision is to have an organization of mentors and entrepreneur associates that are devoted to mutual helpfulness. And I can promise you that that's what this little association that I founded is all about, is mutual helpfulness. Making those promises and keeping them alive, making pledges to go forward in the right way. And I'll send all of you copies of this so you can do it. So chapter number 1, one of the things I want you to do is to be willing to name mentors and advisors and counselors. Just know right up front that you will welcome help, because I will assure you, even if you're as stubborn and bullheaded as I can be sometimes, that second and third opinion sometimes will just knock you off of your feet and say, golly, why didn't I think of that? Or I thought this was a good idea till they gave me another perspective on it. So be willing to find some good advisors and people to help you. Chapter 2, know up front that diversification of products and services is the right way to go. If you want to have more customers and more profit centers, and therefore be able to do more business all year long, different months with different people, then diversification is a major key. Positive attitude, determination, and energy are right in there too. They are the keys for sustainability. Okay, in business planning, in our personal planning, I want your business plan to achieve what you want it to do, and that is give you the personal income that you need and want. But we want to build a business plan that is designed to do that. So that starts with you basically coming up with a goal. You know, you can't achieve a goal if you don't write it down and say what it is. So I'm encouraging you, maybe you haven't done this before, but write down the personal goal for your income to be after you get this business up and running. Or how much money do you want this business to contribute to your overall income goal? That's up to you to write down. That will be your business. But when it comes to deciding what the business revenues are, remember that business plan we talked about when I said it's all about what's left? That what's left is going to be your goals. And we will change that business plan to NDCP, no demand, change the plan. We will keep changing the plan until we get it to the point that's going to achieve your goals. And then you'll be able to see actually how much work needs to be done, how much product you're going to need to sell, how many customer groups you're going to need to add to make that work. So how will we go about doing that? Well, next week we're going to have a business planner. We're going to have a business planner that lays out for the next 6 months what needs to be done, and a business plan that you can type out on 2 or 3 sheets of paper and fill in probably less than 3 hours, and actually have a business plan to go with, which will help you have the milepost to go forward with. Let me just take a break and say, Valerie and Teresa, it's so good to have you back on board with us. We miss you, and Happy New Year. We've gotten started, but we'll have a video that you can view what the first part of the program was. I'll share with you tomorrow, but we're so glad to have you all on board. Okay, what is the nature and the scope of your business? Yes, indeed, Valerie. I want to tell you that plan to start out small. The worst thing you can do is to try to go out and set the whole world on fire. When you do that, your toes are going to get burned. So plan to start out small with goals that you can achieve and start building this foundation one brick at a time. And then just stick your toes in the water. Let's just start doing some stuff. As our goal is for tonight, as our famous quote is, let's stop talking about it and actually start doing. And doing is putting your feet in the water and actually making it happen. Now, I am sure from previous communications I've had with several of you, your toes are already in the water and you're already kind of on plan and just trying to expand the business different ways. And that is great because you'll pick up ideas here that will help you do that. And you always know that you can ask questions. You want to be legal. If you're brand new, you want to be legal. And if you're out here working with a lot of exposure with selling food or doing work in other people's property and such as that, you may be setting yourself for some being a liability for some accidents or things that you might go wrong. And if that's the case, then you want to make sure you have some type of protection for yourself under the law that protects you as a business person and protects your personal assets as well. So there's several ways. As a matter of fact, there's 11 different types of corporations that you can set up. And you don't even have to be incorporated. You can operate as a sole proprietor if you want to. But when you get out here in the business and you're doing work with your vehicles, doing with other customers and individuals, you expand your exposure, I'll call it. And as you do that and have a risk for having an accident or ended up with a lawsuit, having the right type of legal protection through your corporation is very important. Now, 99% of the people starting new businesses today, even large businesses, are doing it under the umbrella of a limited liability company. Now, limited liability company is just a type of way to become incorporated to give yourself some personal protection for your personal assets and such as that. Now, if indeed you do become a company, there's a time that you'll have to do it. A time that maybe you want to get some insurance, and the insurance people will tell you, well, you need to be an LLC before we can insure you. Or when you get your banking, want to get your commercial banking account, your business banking account, they may tell you, well, you have to have a federal identification number to do that. So there will be some things that happen to move along. Now, one of the handouts that I've sent to you, the study guides, I'll give you is a really good video that this company did on basically the first steps you need to do to become an LLC in North Carolina, and it answers 1,000 questions in just a few minutes. So let me encourage you to check that out as one of your study guides that'll save you a lot of stuff. Is it difficult and expensive to become an LLC? It is not. A bookkeeper, a CPA, an attorney, individuals can do this. A lot of my students through the years have done it themselves. So I can tell you, you don't need to lose a lot of sweat or sleep about will you be able to become an LLC, because you follow the basic rules and all the items in those study guides, and you can move forward. Now, the small business centers can also help you with that process and help walk you through it. So just something to think about, but you don't need to let it stop you from getting started because it's fairly easy to do. I want you to know that you're going to make some mistakes. We're human beings, and as we're starting businesses and doing things we hadn't ever done before, there's a good chance that we're going to make some errors. Accept that. Indeed, the more experience and more talking about it is, the better off you'll do. And if you follow the basic plans that we talk about tonight, you're not going to make any big mistakes, I don't think. I'll call it that, but I don't think that it'll sink your ship, because pretty much everything can be fixed fairly easy at this point in time. As long as you're staying honest, you're staying truthful, and you're following the basic rules and have good risk management plans there, you'll be all right. It may be some hot sand across from time to time, but you'll be all right. Your biggest challenges right now are going to be dividing your time, because I know you already have a full day and you're just as busy as you can be. And now here's old Steve-O saying, well, you need to do this and you ought to do that and this and that. Well, forgive me, but that's what they're paying me to do. But I'll say to you that I know that when I say these things, you're going to have to move something else that you're doing now to another burner so you can put this starting this new business on the front burner. And that's going to require changing priorities and delegating your time and maybe finding some other people to help you. Managing time and managing people. What's going to happen at your home life to keep you from being stressed, or your family members? Do you have the support of your family, or is this something that you need to work on? Where are you going to find the extra hours to work for this business that you're doing something else now? These are very serious considerations. So just know that that's part of the 24 things we need to think about before you actually jump right into it. Being legal with local laws. A lot of folks that have never been in business before, that's a real honest and true question that we all have to ask each other from time to time. That we want to stay within the law and not do things and then have to tear them down or undo them or pay a fine somewhere. The good news is that in every incorporated community in North Carolina, and maybe across the nation, but in North Carolina, if a town or a city is incorporated, they've got a website now. And in that website, they've got their local ordinances and requirements usually set down right there, one right after the other. So get used to this statement. Go to the computer and find this file or this location or this website to get the information you need. That's just the way it is now. And I'm glad that you found me tonight, because I'm going to be referring you all through this series to some other places too. But that's how we get our information now and communicate with folks. But each town now has their own website, and at that website you can basically find the answers to the questions you have related to what's required of you to do business here and there. The rest of the good news is usually local governments are very, very helpful to anyone trying to start a new business in town, because new businesses mean new income, more job opportunities, and just improving the quality of life in the community. So compliance with local laws is usually not a problem. But here's the pitfalls. Zoning. Maybe you think that your property is okay to do this type of business in, or you're looking at one you think you can buy that you think will be okay. Well, you don't know these laws and these ordinances, and lots of times that I don't either, until we go and actually read them carefully. And sometimes this wording is not easy to understand, so we have to talk to someone. And in the city governments, your zoning folks and your clerks, they're very good at helping you with information. So I encourage you to get the information first before you make any major moves that you might have to undo, or that you're wasting money before you get along the line. I mentioned earlier the EIN, the employee identification number. You'll have one of those for your business at some point. You know, when we're born, we're given a social security number as an individual baby. And we keep that social security number our entire life until we pass away. And that's kind of our number, right? Well, in businesses, the same as a social security number for a business is called the EIN number. The EIN number. Some folks refer to it as federal identification number. My business number is 5606-86221. After 66 years, I've had to write it down so many times I just remember it. And you will have an EIN number, and you will have to have an EIN number before you can get a commercial check-in or bank account. So is that hard to get? It is not. You can go to the, and here we go, you can go to the IRS website, and they have a place you can log in there and get your number. No charge. You just fill in the basic information, your address and the name of your company. That means we have to determine what the name of our business is first, right? And to do that, we need to go to the Secretary of State of North Carolina website and type in the names we want to do, and they'll tell you if someone else already has it or not. So before you get your EIN number, you got to know what your business name is. Agreed? All right. So I'll mention right now that while you're there at the Secretary of State getting your business name, But you can also go ahead and check out any DBAs that you want to use. And a DBA stands for Doing Business As. And that's a really important factor in marketing and being able to grow and expand your business into different areas and to be able to operate under different names. And that doesn't mean that you're going to run up your accounting bill or your bookkeeping bill, but DBAs are very positive things, and I'll have some study guides go to you. And in week 4, we'll talk about how DBAs can help you in marketing. But right now, you will need an EIN number if you don't get a commercial banking account, so just plan to do that. Now, while you're at the IRS site, I'll give you a little tip. You're there typing down, just filling in information, a pop-up will come up on your computer screen, and it will say, do you want help doing this? Do you need some help doing this? We can help you with this. And they'll have a place you can click. Well, yeah, everybody wants some help. But when you click there, those folks are going to want you to give them your credit card number and $300 or more to get that EIN number. And then you'll start typing in the same information that you were doing before. And indeed, they'll run it through their software and system, and they'll get that EIN number, send it to you, and charge you $300. That's a scam. You don't have to do that. So when that pop-up comes up and says, do you want help doing this? Just click it off, erase that. You do not. You do not. How do I know that? Because I was gullible and I took the bait and I did it. And when I got to the bank and told them I was disappointed they didn't tell me that I was going to have to pay $300, she said, well, Steve, you didn't have to. And so I went back to American Express and I got my money back. But that took a little while and didn't charge me. So I just give you that up front. When that pop-up comes up when you're getting your EIN number, you don't need the help. You don't still have to type in the same information. Just saved you $300, maybe. Okay, compliance with local laws might include getting your business permit, a business license, or a registration. That would be very, very easy. That's just a matter of giving them your business legal name and address and your name, and maybe pay $25 to $100 depending on how big your business is or where you are. And in some companies, there's no. I mean, some towns and counties, there's no charge at all. But it's very simply, and you want to be legal. You want to be recognized because that's going to qualify you for someone to help you with your zoning, your fire code permits, your signage and things like that. If they don't know you're starting a business in town, they can't come to you and help you. Isn't that a nice way of saying they can't come to you and tell you what you need to do or have to do or what you're doing wrong? But look, just start out with a positive attitude. You want to do it right to begin with. You want to work with these folks and you want them to help you. You don't want them to fight you or to hurt you. So very easy to do. Now that business registration, privilege license, it looks as simple as this. This is what mine looks like for Fast Forward Services, which is my main company, which I have 5 DBAs that we operate under that. But that's my business registration with the location and the number, and that makes me legal in Dunn City, North Carolina. And I think that costs me maybe $50 a year in Dunn. In some places, it doesn't cost anything. Okay. Now, more information. Some people just want to read and stay on the internet and know all that you possibly can do. Discourage you from doing too much of that because you'll catch analysis paralysis and discourage you from doing the things that you have to do to get your business running. But if you have questions, one good place to go get answers is at the Small Business Center website, the same place you pre-registered to come to the webinar tonight. And click on resources and then just start scrolling down, and there's all kind of encyclopedia of information there about how to get a small business up and running with good information. None of it's bad information, so I suggest that you remember that it's there for you. So where are you going to operate this business? Let's talk about that. At home office, work out of it, retail business. The reason it's important that you know that which one of these, and I'll ask you to go back to chat now, keep your fingers busy, which one of these 3 options do you think will cost you the least amount of money to get up and running? Working at home, working out of your home office, or having a retail bricks and mortar business? Which one will cost you the least to get started? What do you think? Home, out of your home and the home office, or a bricks and mortar business? Well, we got an at home from 2 folks. What do the rest of you think? Most of you are thinking that too. Thank you for participating. And you're absolutely right. If you're working your business out of home, that means you're not paying rent on property or buying extra insurance or another set of utility bills. Starting your business at home is usually the least expensive way to go, and you can usually manage it. You still don't have to answer the questions, still have to have a plan, but indeed you can start a business at home for very, very little amount of extra money. But if your business is going to be home is my base, but every day I don't get into my truck and go work on somebody's plumbing, or I don't go doing sewing or painting or designing something for folks, or doing or working computers, work on computers in people's offices, or maybe I'm going to work at home, but I'm going to go get the stuff and bring it back here, which is going to involve a vehicle and travel expenses and maybe even some additional employees to help you. So your price goes up when it gets more complicated. And maybe it's all 3. I've operated as all 3 for a lot of years, where they have a bricks and mortar office business somewhere else where customers can come and look and buy and bring their equipment to be worked on, or buy parts, or talk about sales situations. And having that extra property somewhere else, of course, raises the price up. And if you're going to do some of each, we got to remember when we're doing our business plan, to plan what's going to be involved in each place. Maybe it's not just one place, but you might have a home office with utilities and expenses there. You might have vehicles with expenses related to that, plus another property where you have your office at or where customers go. It can get a little complicated, but as long as we know where we're headed, it's not that difficult to do your business plan. That's why I want to mention it now. Now, next week, we'll take a lot of what we're talking about here and try to feed it into a simple, concise business arrangement to figure out where we're going money-wise. What's our potential income? What's our potential expenses? Put them in little models to determine what's the chance of ending up with some money at the end of the day, and how to budget our money in order to make it happen. Budgeting and business planning are basically the same thing. You can approach it different ways using different words or descriptions, but it's all going to end up trying to help us end up with enough money to make it happen. And what we'll talk about next week will go a long way to doing that. And I'll send you lots of information to help us get there. But before we get to that point, have you really asked yourself, can I sell this thing that I want to do? If people want to buy it from me, or where else can they buy it? Where can I go buy what I'm trying to sell to other people? And how much is it going to cost me? Who are my best potential customers? The ones that I can reach easy and fast, the low-hanging fruit. Who are they and where are they? And how can I get in touch with them? How would I stay in touch with them? See, this is how we're going to develop your marketing plan, by doing this type of question and answer to do it. Now, back to the marketable profit centers. The MPC, marketable profit center. So think about this with me. An item that I'm doing in my business that's going to generate revenue. Generate revenue means the same thing as being a profit center. And I want to take this item and identify it in such a way that I can market it, that I can sell it separately to individuals who just want this thing. So it becomes a marketable profit center. Please read the study guide related to that, because it is a key foundation block to building your successful business. And then we're going to identify each one of your marketable profit centers and put them in the menu that I mentioned, one of your homework assignments. And in that menu, let's think about what it's going to sell for. And as we do that, we can think about how to diversify our customer base, how much money will come in from each group, put that together to start creating our business plan. Starts with the marketable profit centers. 3 different types, and we want at least 5 in our business to create enough volume to be sustainable. Remember, in type 1 profit center, now focus with me on this, please. is to bring in new customers and to promote daily traffic. Our business is new and we need to get people coming to us. We need to send promotions out to encourage them to come on right now. New customers, let's steal them from our competitors. Bring them in. We don't know them yet, but we want to bring them in, and we're going to treat each one of them like they're the king and the queen of our life, and because we want them to become a raving fan customer. Raving fan customer is what we're after here with our new customers. We need to promote daily traffic. We just don't want them to come once a year like we're at the state fair. No, we want them to keep coming on a regular basis to help bringing us some money so that we can help building our products, right? Now, I mentioned this again throughout the series, but you need to remember there's two kinds of things that people will buy. There's things that people want, and there's things that people need. So as we're thinking about our different types of marketable profit centers, we want some of each. We want some of each because the things that people need, they'll be buying all the time. And then the things that people want, they'll buy it when they got extra money in their pocket. And we want both. Because the things that people need, maybe we can't make as much profit on them because the competition's tough on them and they shop hard for it. But the things that they want, those are those profit centers that are impulse items that we can make some good profits on. So we got to remember that and design our business accordingly. Now let's use the local convenience store as an example of the profit centers, okay? Now, the two profit centers at the convenience store that they make very little money on, very little money, but bring in all the new business and daily traffic flow is gasoline. And you know this as well as I do. If they change the price on that gallon of gas 1 penny, it can make a difference in how many people come in and out each day. So gas is important to them, even though they don't make a lot of money. They handle a lot of money, but the profits are very low. The second thing are lottery tickets. The higher that jackpot gets, the more daily traffic flow comes into those stores. So they make a big deal about selling lottery tickets. Why do they do that? The fast food businesses, all of them have a $5 a meal deal. You can go to any fast food business and buy with $5 and buy a decent meal. That's to bring in more traffic. That's a profit center number one. But now let's talk about profit centers number two. They're after repeat business that they can make more profit on and have people keep coming back. So what's the different types of profit centers number two? Well, the fast food business, and they got you in there with a $5 meal promise, but the average meal going out is costing people $9 to $11. Yeah, by upsizing and offering accessories. Yeah, that's how they get their profits up, by offering profit centers number two, upsizing and additional items. And we all know this. We go in there thinking about that $5 meal, but we leave with an $8 or $9 or $12 bill, right? That's the way it works. We want to follow that lead, because that's the way people market and they plan for that. At the convenience store, the gas store, it's these items that indeed, they got you in there for the lottery ticket or the gallon of gas, but while you're waiting in line, all these impulse items are sitting right there for you, and these items are 200 to 300% profit margins. Plenty of them displayed and marketed in such a way to encourage us to buy them. We want to do that in all of our businesses with the different ways that we can do it. At the car dealerships and the tractor dealerships, the least amount of money is made on new cars or new tractors or new trucks, but most of the money is made in parts and accessories and in the service departments. That's our profit centers number two. We need to plan on how we're going to do that as well. And as I said earlier, if you don't plan to have some big ticket items, you won't have them. Selling hot dogs or shrimp plates or little items that you made, craft items one at a time, don't add up to very big money. Just a fact. But if we learn how to bundle our sales or how to shop and go find some big ticket items, then we have just automatically improved the chances for our business to survive, because you need some big ticket sales. Our business isn't going to make it by golly just making deposits for $100 at a time. So when you position yourself each week that you can make several deposits for $500 or $2,000 or $100,000, then indeed you're putting yourself handling enough money and cash flow to start creating some reserves to see you through the rough times. And there will be rough times coming that you'll need to rely on profits that you made yesterday to help pay the bills that are coming in today. All these are important. The three different types of profit centers now, what are they? Number one, type it in if you don't mind. What's the number one type of profit center? Is it to bring in daily cash flow, traffic? Answer is yes. Number one is to improve daily traffic. Profit center number two is to improve repeat business and encourage repeat business. And profit center number three type is big ticket sales. We need all these different types in our businesses. Let's remember that. Now, the big ticket sales is a good example. While Smithfield Barbecue and Chicken has a $5 meal, you can also go in there and pay up to $370 or even more to get a party package, a family package. This is the way they take those $5 packages and offer it, plan for it to encourage people to buy the big ticket sales for them. And I really encourage this. These are good people to do business with, and I use these family packs a lot now and continue to use them more. I want each and every one of us to figure out ways that we can put together bundles in our business to end up with some pretty significant deposits. It's a lot more fun to go make a $500 deposit than it is a $5 deposit. Let's figure out ways to do that in all of our businesses. Now, kind of changing gears here. Can you do this business alone? Is this something you can do by yourself, or you don't need some help? You don't rely on your family to help you, your children or your parents or your brother and sister to help you. You don't need to hire some employees and pay them nicely. We need to think about this, and finding the people to help us make this work is going to be important. Maybe it's not a big factor right now, but as we do our business planning and adding on the profit centers, sometimes we need to add profit centers on in order to generate enough income to actually have some employees to help us come to expand our possibilities. So hiring employees and staff is going to be a very important factor. And we can talk about that, but I want you right now to just accept the fact that you're probably not going to be able to do this all by yourself. You will need some help, either a bookkeeper, an accountant, someone to help you with marketing, maybe even bring in a partner or an associate, or maybe do some wholesale work, so that we find ways that maybe you can do most of the work yourself, but find other people that's going to help you expand your business. Very important factor. Okay, maybe we're just getting started and you just haven't figured out what your startup costs are going to be. I'm sure you've thought about it somewhat, but when we do the budgeting next week and the business plan, these startup costs are going to be important. So have an idea, write down a list of what you think those startup costs are going to be. What you've already spent needs to be listed down. That's very important for you to do that. And then what you think needs to be listed down. And if you just don't know, I understand. If you just don't know, that's fine. But you might want to send me an email or put something in chat that I'm going to be doing this type of work. What do you think my startup costs might include? You know, depending on how big or little you're going to do, I might not know the exact numbers, but I can give you different ideas on the different types of costs that you might have. And we'll talk about that indeed next week as well. So give your startup costs some consideration. Is this money that you already have? Or is this money you're going to need to borrow? Or is this money that you want to have a fundraiser for and try to raise? Now, in week 5, we'll talk about cash flowing and raising money and borrowing money. So, but you need to be thinking about what those numbers are. And I can tell you that if you're looking at maybe needing less than $5,000 to get started, and a lot of businesses you can get started for less than $5,000. There's a good chance you'll be able to either have fundraisers or figure out different ways to get that money without having to get a large bank loan or something like that. And we'll talk about those issues, but we can't approach achieving that goal until you set the goal and come up with some numbers that you think it's going to take. So your basic expenses are going to be one-time expenses, and every business is going to be a little bit different. But those one-time expenses have to be plugged in because it's got to come from somewhere. If you don't already have it, it's got to come from somewhere else. And if you don't have to go to the bank and borrow the money, I'm going to tell you right now up front, it's not going to be easy. Banks are not in business to loan money to risky customers. In the whole world, new businesses are considered risky, especially new businesses that are having to be funded with borrowed money and by people who haven't been in business before. All that adds up to risk. So we're going to need to do all we can to lower that threshold of risk. And you do that by basically being ready to prove who you are and how someone can find you, prove that you've been paying your taxes and that you've got a good credit history, been paying your bills, you've borrowed money before, and you've paid it back the way you're supposed to. In other words, are you credit worthy? Are you credit worthy? You have a good reputation in doing that. And maybe you can satisfy a lot of concerns by having a significant amount of down payment to pay on what it is that you're trying to do. What experience do you have in this new business that you're starting? Can you prove that you know what you're doing? Can you show the self-confidence that you can sell, that you have that ability? And do you have business or personal references to back it up? And after all that said, the last thing on the list is show me your business plan and show me your marketing plan. So steps by steps, and they're baby steps that we can help get you to the point that maybe you can get a positive note from the lender. Moving now into expanding your business. Have you ever heard of the term the big kahuna? Over in the Polynesian world, in the Pacific, the big kahuna is the chief of the tribe or the queen of the clan or such as that, the head of the group. The big kahuna is the person that's been there the longest, knows the most, has the respect of everyone else, and basically they're number one. And being the big kahuna is really important place to go, and it should be our goal. Each and every one of us, whether you've been in business for 66 years or just getting started, have a goal of at least achieving big kahuna status in some part of your business. Now, I can tell you that I have been there in several different situations all through the years. It's been what a lot of people consider the best areas at it, and in some ways maybe even still do. But I want to tell you that you can't stay there unless you work hard at it and know that by being the big kahuna in whatever it is that you've achieved, it automatically means that other people are trying to take that title away from you, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. So I want to encourage us all to try to get there, and I can give you tips on how to make it, but we have to prove to our customers and to the other people that's our competition that we're smarter, we're better in marketing, we're better at selling, we understand customer service, and we can dodge the bullets, dodge those curveballs better than anyone else. And then one day, might take decades to get there, you can be the big kahuna as well and enjoy the status for as long as you're willing to fight for it. So it is a possibility. I live in proof of it. So let's get back. I mentioned this a little earlier. Our daily life, as we're considering things to stay in business, we need to be in a regular habit of talking with people that's got some sense, of talking to people that's got common sense and business sense about the areas that you're considered about. It's real easy to surround ourselves with people who know it all about everything, but in reality don't know squat about anything, just love to talk and have an opinion. Let's find the folks who really are serious about helping you. I commit to you to be that person for you, because I will tell you if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. We need to find someone else to talk to. Bart Rice at the Small Business Center and the other directors at the Small Business Centers near you do the same thing. You really want to avoid the know-it-alls and the downsayers and the folks who would say that you can't do this because you just can't do it. No. Entrepreneurs learn early on, let's find some people with some sense that have some intelligence. And that's not easy to do sometimes. So in your way of thinking, things to consider before you get started in your business, one of the things is, where can I find some people I can visit with or go to seminars with or call up or send an email to and get a second opinion? That doesn't mean that your opinion is wrong, but there's nothing wrong with getting reinforcement for it. So plan to make that a regular habit of what you do. Let me tell you, after my dad died in 1981, and I'd been doing a lot of things in the business, but I hadn't been making the decisions, it became very evident to me that sometimes it's a lonely place to be trying to make these decisions. And I learned early on that some folks that I could talk to and get good advice from that would keep it confidential and not make me feel like a fool for asking foolish questions. And there are no foolish questions. That's an important way to keep your sanity and maybe not make some real serious mistakes. So surround yourself with good advisors and good mentors. Now let's look at your competition. Other people are out here selling and doing what you want to sell and do. Who are they? What do you know about them? Have you gone to their websites? Have you gone into their businesses? Have you listened to their stories? You need to know what's going on in the world that you want to serve, because we don't need to outthink them and outmarket them. It begins with you understanding who and where they are. The internet now will give you the greatest gift that's ever been available to an entrepreneur starting a new business, because you right now can go on the internet and with Google and pretty much see what everyone else is doing, what they're charging and how they're doing it, and see some really good ideas that maybe you want to copy or steal, and that's just fine. There's no reason at all for me to tell you you have to reinvent the wheel, because you don't. And that's good news. We can follow other people's game plans and score touchdowns just like they do. But I want you to be the big kahuna here and learn to do it better and quicker and in a hurry, because the longer we wait, the longer we talk about it and don't do it, means that's just another day that we're not building raving fan customers and putting our business in place and improving our financial situation. So we do need to know that competition. Now, you do have dangerous threats, just like I do. And who do you think the most dangerous threat to keep you and your new business from moving forward might be? Is it the government? Is it a competitor? Nope. The most dangerous threat is the distractions that you have in your daily life. The threats of distractions in my daily life are the main thing that keeps me moving forward at a pace that I'd like to move. And that's just life. We all have things that distract us from what we might want to be doing. I mean, heck, you may have 2 or 3 children that are just so demanding you have a hard time finding any time to do anything different. Or you may be the caretaker for a loved one, someone aged, a senior, and that's a 36-hour job in itself. And God bless you if that's your situation. I've had the life experiences to look after 3 folks as their primary caretaker in their last years. You may have a job, or maybe you already have 2 or 3 jobs but still need more income, and you're here trying to figure out how to do that. Finding the time to do this, moving things out of the way, will always come to fighting the distractions that are less important to you and to your loved ones that's getting this new business started. Fighting those distractions so you'll have time to concentrate on what needs to be done to get your new business started. changing the environment, having a place to work or to study or to keep your files or your computer so that you can concentrate on your new business may require that you change the furniture around in your house or partition off part of a building so you can have a in-house office. Figure out the ways that help you to fight distractions. It's called setting the priorities, the right priorities. Now, through the years, I've learned a way that has helped me more than anything else. And for, I guess now, 7 years, I do it every morning. Every morning when I wake up and my head's on that pillow, and before I raise it up or really had to find the strength to say, okay, I need to get going. Let's get out of bed, Steve. I'll lay there on that pillow and I'll think a little bit and focus on it. It's something that I've trained myself to do, is to say, okay, what are the 3 things that I want to get done today, that I need to get done today to move my business forward or to solve this problem? What are the 3 things I need to get done today? And I'll make that a mindset of those. And before I get up and even start the coffee pot, they're in place. And my goal is to accomplish those 3 things before lunch. Before I eat lunch, I don't get these things done. And you know what? It works. I'll find ways to put off other things or to put lesser important priorities on the list and get those 3 things done before lunch. The truth is sometimes it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I eat lunch because I stay with it. I let my stomach just growl while it remind me that I got these things to do. Now, some days it don't work. Some days I don't get anything done I'd planned to, and I'll start out 1 or 2 days early with those same 3 things on my list. But most of the time, by the end of the week, I have achieved my 3 goals per day. And let me ask you to try that. Make personal commitments to get certain priorities accomplished, and that'll really help you move your new plans forward for your business. So, something we need to remember now, a fundamental way of thinking, and this will do you good personal favors as well. We remember that our business cannot be all things to all people. And as we're planning it and looking forward to our business life, it's real easy to think, hey, I don't go big like Target or like Walmart. I want to be big and better and billionaire type things. Well, good luck to you if you got the resources to do that. But usually the folks that are in my classes, like you guys, we need to constantly remind ourselves we can't be all things to all people. We don't need to sell everything. However, we must be everything to some people. We must be everything to some people. And when we set that as a goal and we start picking our profit centers so that we can start becoming everything to some people, things will get a whole lot better. Because those some people will become your raving fan customers. We can't be all things to all people. However, we must be everything to some people, and they will become your raving fan customers. That's why it's important that you look at target groups and niche markets that you can really focus on. Create those target groups of customers and ways to stay in contact with them. Then these constant promotions that we talked about earlier, how do we catch fish? How do we catch customers? With constant promotions, but those promotions need to be aimed at the certain customer groups that we go after. Now, in week 4, we will dive into this big time, but this is going to be really, really important for you. Now, let's talk about naming that business. And I've got a study guide that I can send to you if you'd like about naming businesses. And if that's the case, just type it over in chat, and I'll include it in your email tomorrow. But you want to name your business something that is meaningful, something that you've got a reason that you named it this, and that reason may be it's the name of what you're selling, it's the name of your community, it's maybe the sum of both. But just don't pick a name out of the air for no reason. I'm going to ask you why, and I want some good answers. Now, the name of your business is important because you're going to live with that forever. But You've also got a second chance here through DBAs, because you can name your business different names that are not your legal title and do business under those too. That helps you find more customers. More importantly, helps more customers find you through the list of a number of DBAs. And in week 4, we'll focus on those as well. But you've already got a handout that talks about DBAs, and it's time to start reading it. Okay, do you need a business plan? Absolutely. You absolutely need one. I can tell you right now that riding up and down the road, if a business was started more than 10 years ago, it may not have a business plan. But I can tell you any business that has started during the last 10 years does have one. And it's one that the owners and the managers look at it on a regular basis. They may not call it their, quote, business plan, but it's a plan. And we do need them, and we do have them, because things are changing so much. We can't take a business plan written 10 years ago and apply it right now to hardly any business whatsoever. So let's get in the habit of having a business plan. Now, eventually, your business plan will become your operating statement, and it'll be tied to your financial statement. So every year, and with QuickBooks and a good bookkeeper now, we can be looking at our business plan and how close to it we're staying on a regular basis now. And that's a real good thing to do. In week 6, we'll talk about how the bookkeeping systems can help you stay on your business plan and make more money. So here's something that's going to make you interesting. I'm going to say to you, I don't want you to give discounts. I do not want you to give discounts. Even though my whole marketing plan is full of discounts. And we'll talk about discounting in the future. Because the rest of the sentence is, I don't want you to give discounts that you didn't plan to give. And planning to give discounts and negotiate and work with people is a good thing. But setting prices without considering that you may have to offer discounts to make these things sell is a bad thing. The key words are take it or leave it. And old Steve O's will tell you, you can walk around starting tomorrow looking at what different ways that people are presenting what it's going to cost you to do business with them. And a lot of times it is simply, here it is, here's the price, take it or leave it. And that's why you're still walking around. Because that way of marketing invites people to start shopping somewhere else. And my goal and my thrust with our marketing plan, the golden goose, and what I'm going to say to you is, we want to build customer relationships. And you build customer relationships by your hospitality and your customer service, but also the way you present your selling prices. And I want our selling prices to say, here's the opening price. You can certainly buy it for this, but here are some options. You can pay for it this way, or maybe take this off and get a little discount. We want our mindset, our message to our customer to be, I'll work with you. Sure, I've got a certain price I have to stay in business, but maybe we can arrange and talk about this and make it fit your budget. And when you start doing that, my friend, you start getting a lot more business closings. And you start creating customer relationships that bring customers back to you time after time. And you start creating raving fan customers. We got to remember, take it or leave it is not the right way to go. We got to include the cost of doing business. We got to include discounting. We got to include negotiating, customer value type of situations, repeat customer incentives. A lot of things go into this, and negotiating and forecasting is the key to that. Now, in week 6, we'll talk a lot about negotiating and forecasting. In week 7, in addition to talking about taxes, we'll talk about how to actually close those sales and help people go ahead and give you the order instead of walking off. Okay, wrapping this thing up a little bit, and thank you all for staying with me as you have, and certainly welcome to the new folks that have joined us. Lauren, I'm so glad that you joined us, and look forward to learning more about you. And Nancy, appreciate you staying with us as well. Chapter 22 in the book, we need to think about, let's keep our principles ahead of our profits. I love to make money, and I'm very, very aggressive, no doubt. I try to close sales and get people motivated to let's do a deal. But I try to keep in my mindset, let's stay on the high road. Let's be honest. Let's be forthright. Let's hold on to your Christian values, if that's the values to hold on to. Be the best person you can be. Make money. Make some profit. Don't take advantage of people. Don't lie to them. Because when you build a customer base of people that trust you, day in, day out, year after year, you can build a sustainable business. Without that trust and without that sustainability, you're working one day at a time. A good rule of thumb is to have those mission, vision, and promise statements where that you are saying to the people of the world, I'm going to do my best to keep my principles instead of in front of my desire to make profits. So sometimes your lifelong legacy is that you treated people fairly, and when people needed extra help, you were willing to give it. That's what I want you to have. Your acquaintances, your family, and your community will be so proud of you as the new business person in town if you do that. Being a giver or a taker, we want to be givers. We want to be known as people that will give folks that chance, give them that helping hand, offer them warmth when they're cold, give good advice, be truthful, be a leader, offer training and help the folks, be proud of your community, be a part of it, and indeed try to make those very best first impressions. We don't want to be someone that is known as a taker, that takes advantage of people, that lies to people, that has your interest in front of everyone else's interest. That's not the legacy that I want to have, and I'm going to try through the academy to see that you share with me in the legacy of as a giver. The pastor down at the Foundation Church in Elizabethtown, North Carolina, about 4 or 5 years ago, preached a sermon. The name of his sermon was Endurance, which the endurance, talking about how to do what you have to do to maintain your born again values, so to speak. But I talked to him and said, you don't mind if I apply this to our business talks? And he said, no, please do, because you've got to have endurance to stay strong and to finish strong as an entrepreneur. So I'd like to leave you with this thought and hope that this thought will lead you to come back, okay, and pick up. Now, we're talking mindset type stuff tonight. Next week, we're going to get down to business planning and budgeting. But to have the endurance to stay in the game, first of all, means that you pace yourself. Work along at a pace that you feel comfortable with. As long as you're making progress, I'll be happy for you. Pace yourself. Don't try to burn yourself out. Don't try to go at it so hard that you get your priorities misaligned. So work at your own pace that you feel comfortable at. Humble yourself. Humble ourselves. Know that it's not how much you, people don't care how much you know. They just want to know that you care. Know that I don't know it all, that you don't know it all. I don't expect you to know it all. Just know it all. No. Man, we all learn every day important lessons. And I'm happy to learn those lessons and try to be like a sponge and encourage other people to do the same. We have to be humble. Find the inspiration that we need to keep on with a smile and the right attitude. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm proud to say that to you, and in Him I find inspiration. I try to live less like I live and more like He lived. And I find inspiration in that because I know that so many people support that and feel the same way with me, and we have that common denominator. Wherever you find your inspiration, go for it. Take the time to charge your battery. Be still and know, as it says in the Bible. Be still and concentrate. Alone. Keep your values and your goals at the top of your mind. Find the inspiration to charge those batteries and then go out here and let's change the world to a better place. You can see my big old belly here. You would say that and drop a few pounds. So you know what I'm talking about, but I'm not talking about drop a few pounds of weight. And we all can find the endurance to drop a few pounds of stubbornness. We can drop a few pounds of procrastination. And maybe we need to drop a few pounds of bad friends and bad influences, bad habits. We know that's the truth. And the sooner we can do it, the better we're going to be in a position to find the endurance to have a meaningful life and a meaningful business. So dropping a few pounds fit right in there. And lastly, focus on that finish line. My finish line might be here, your finish line might be there. It might be, your finish line might be to finish this series and attend all 7 classes. Or your finish line might be, I don't get my business started before July 1st. Or, by golly, I don't stay with this and have a good business plan and a good marketing plan by the end of the series. Establish what the finish line is that you want to achieve and be true to yourself and focus on it, and let's get there. That means you don't have to change your priorities and have the endurance to see it through. I'll be supporting you, and I want you to know that. So we're going to create a business planner next week and give you a business plan to get started with. I want to tell you on this cold, frigid night, to light your candle and let it shine. Put your hands around it and find some warmth. Let your candle shine and give warmth to other people and give light and direction to other people. I want to say you that 2025, my resolution is to do all I can to let my light shine and to bring my hopes and my prayers to you for God to bless you and your family and this new business. Amen. So thank you all for staying with us. I'll welcome your emails and comments and certainly look forward to staying in touch with you. Remember, if you have questions to ask them in the chat, send me an email, and let's get this started. If I have your address, I'll be doing it. Now, Nancy, I don't on your screen here, I don't have your email address. So if you'll type that in the chat, and if you hadn't already had it. Oh, if you hadn't typed in your last name and email address in chat, please do that. Kenyatta, good to have you back again. I think I already have your address. Lauren, I need yours. Let's see. I believe that's it. I believe I've got the other folks. Good to have you tonight. Stay warm and take care. How about turning on your mic and sharing your thoughts with me or any questions?
Hi, Mr. Carver. This is Valerie Smith, Wilmington.
Hi, Valerie. I'm glad to hear your voice.
Hi, I'm glad to be able to attend. Thank you for all the insight and information, and I look forward to learning something new.
Fantastic. Well, good luck for you and your transportation business. I imagine it slowed down a little bit with cold weather, but hopefully it'll continue to be a really good business for you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments? Lauren, you got your mic where you can tell us where you're located? Hey, Kenyatta, what did you have to say? All right. Any other comments? If not, as John Boyd said, good night, everybody.
Good night, Steve.
Hey, Sarita, good night. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Good night.